Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like time has taken something from you? The face staring back isn't quite the same as the one you remember. The body you once trusted now feels different. Society tells us to fight aging, to resist every wrinkle, every grey hair. But what if the real struggle isn't against time, but against our fear of change? Buddhist wisdom teaches us that aging isn't something to dread, it's something to embrace. Today we'll uncover profound lessons that will shift your perspective on growing older. Stay with me because what you'll learn might just change how you see the rest of your life. The struggle with aging is not against time but against resistance. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt as though time has taken something from you? The face staring back isn't quite the same as the one you remember. The world moves faster, friendships shift, and the body you once trusted now feels unfamiliar. Aging is a journey filled with changes, and let's be honest, it can feel like an uphill battle. But what if I told you that the battle isn't against aging itself? What if the real struggle is against our own resistance to it? For centuries we've been conditioned to see aging as something to fear. Society tells us to fight it, to erase wrinkles, to hide grey hair, to stay young at all costs. We resist, we deny, and we cling to the past. And yet the more we fight the inevitable, the more we suffer. But what if we could shift our perspective? What if aging wasn't something to dread, but something to embrace? Buddhist wisdom: let go of the resistance. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises not from aging itself, but from our resistance to it. The Buddha spoke of impermanence, anicca, the truth that everything changes. This truth is not meant to frighten us, but to free us. When we spend our lives holding on to the past, trying to freeze time, trying to preserve what must inevitably change, we create our own suffering. But here's the truth: aging is not the enemy. Fear is. Think about a tree in autumn. As the leaves change color and fall to the ground, do we mourn the loss? No. We admire the beauty of the transformation. We know that this is part of the tree's natural cycle. The same is true for us. The lines on our faces, the silver in our hair, these are not signs of loss. They are proof of life, of experience, of wisdom earned. What happens when you embrace aging? The moment we stop resisting aging, we unlock something powerful: peace. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that you don't need to fight the inevitable. Instead of chasing youth, you begin to embrace the present moment. You shift your focus from what was to what is. Instead of seeing your body as something that is failing you, you recognize it as a faithful companion that has carried you through life's experience. Instead of fearing change, you learn to flow with it. You start to appreciate the present, rather than mourning the past. And in that acceptance, something incredible happens. You stop aging emotionally. Your body may change, but your spirit becomes lighter. Your heart becomes free. A new beginning, not an end. Aging is not about losing. It's about evolving. It's about stepping into a new chapter of life with grace, dignity, and wisdom. The question is, will you resist it, or will you embrace it? This is your journey. This is your choice. And if you choose acceptance, you may just discover that aging isn't the closing of a book. It's the turning of a new page. Embracing change, the key to true freedom. Have you ever wished you could stop time? Maybe you've looked in the mirror and longed for the face you once knew. Or perhaps you felt the sting of friendships fading, the weight of responsibilities growing heavier with each passing year. Society teaches us to resist aging, to fear wrinkles, grey hair, and the slowing of our bodies. But what if that resistance is the real cause of our suffering? Buddhism teaches that impermanence, the constant state of change, is not something to fear, but the key to true freedom. Everything in life is temporary, from the joy of youth to the wisdom of old age. The more we cling to what was, the more we suffer. But when we embrace impermanence, we unlock a life of peace and fulfillment. Think about how much of our lives are spent in resistance. We fight against the natural flow of time, trying to hold on to things that are inevitably slipping away. We buy expensive anti-aging creams, chase after youth, and avoid thinking about growing older. But what if aging isn't something to dread? What if it's something to embrace? Imagine carrying a heavy rock everywhere you go, gripping it tightly, unwilling to let it go. That rock represents our attachment to who we used to be, to the things we've lost, to the life we think we should have. The more we hold on, the heavier it feels, but the moment we release it, we feel light, free, and able to move forward. The truth is, life is like a river, always flowing, always changing. We cannot stop the current, but we can learn to move with it rather than against it. When we stop fearing change and start embracing it, we discover a new kind of beauty, one that isn't found in the smoothness of skin or the energy of youth, but in the depth of wisdom, the richness of experience, and the kindness we offer the world. Many of us see aging as a loss of youth, strength, and the life we once knew. But what if aging is not about losing something, but about gaining something far more valuable? Imagine seeing every wrinkle as a story, every silver strand of hair as a lesson learned. Instead of mourning the past, we could celebrate the wisdom we've gained, the experiences we've lived, and the love we've shared. Buddhism teaches us that suffering arises not from change itself, but from our resistance to it. The moment we let go of our fear of aging, we unlock a profound peace. We realize that life isn't about clinging to the past, but about fully embracing the present. The most radiant people are not those who look the youngest, but those who carry wisdom, gratitude, and a deep sense of inner peace. Today, we will explore 5 powerful Buddhist lessons on aging, lessons that will shift your perspective and help you see growing older, not as a decline, but as an unfolding of something even greater. These truths are not bitter, they are liberating. They free us from the burden of resisting what is natural and open the door to a more meaningful, peaceful life. So stay with me until the end, because what you'll learn today might just change the way you see the rest of your life. You will be forgotten faster than you think, and that's okay. Have you ever wondered what will remain of you after you're gone? The home you built, the career you poured your heart into, the stories you shared, will they be remembered? Will your name echo in the minds of future generations, or will time erase it like footprints in the sand? For many, the thought of being forgotten is unsettling. We spend our lives striving to make a difference, to leave a mark, to be remembered. But here's the truth. Most of us will be forgotten faster than we think, and that's okay. Buddhism teaches the concept of anatta, the idea that there is no permanent self. We are not isolated beings meant to last forever, but rather temporary waves in the vast ocean of existence. Just as waves rise and fall, merging back into the sea, so too do we exist for a time, touch the lives of others, and then fade into the greater flow of life. At first, this idea may seem discouraging, even sad. But what if it's actually liberating? What if instead of focusing on being remembered, we focused on truly living, on making each moment meaningful, on being kind, on leaving behind not a name but an energy, a ripple of goodness that carries forward? Imagine a wise old monk living in a remote mountain temple. Over the years, people seek his wisdom, and he offers guidance freely, never asking for recognition. One day, a young disciple asks him, "Master, does it not sadden you that when you pass away, people may forget your name?" The old monk smiles and points to a river flowing past the temple. "Tell me," he says, "where is the water that was here yesterday?" The disciple hesitates. "It has flowed on." "Yes," the monk nods. "Yet the river remains." The lesson is clear. It is not the name we leave behind that matters, but the effect of our kindness, the way we touched others, the love we shared. Think about it. Do you remember the name of every teacher who ever inspired you? Every stranger who showed you kindness? Every person whose words or actions shaped your life? Probably not, but their impact remains within you, woven into the fabric of your existence. A single candle can light 1,000 others without losing its own flame. The love, wisdom, and generosity you share today do not disappear. They live on, not as names in history books, but in the hearts of those you've touched. So why spend a lifetime chasing a legacy that will fade? Why fear being forgotten, when the real measure of a life well lived is not in how long we are remembered, but in how deeply we have loved, how sincerely we have helped, and how fully we have been present in each moment. Aging is not about chasing after a name that lingers in history. It's about making every moment meaningful. It's about finding peace in knowing that your presence here, however temporary, has added to the world's beauty. So let go of the need to be remembered. Focus instead on living well now. Be kind. Be present. Let your actions create ripples of goodness that will flow long after you are gone. And when the time comes to fade from memory, know that you were never just a name. You were a part of something far greater, something eternal. Because in the end it is not about being remembered. It is about how we choose to live today. Your body will change. Learn to befriend it. There was a time when your body was strong and effortless. You could run up the stairs without a second thought, carry heavy bags with ease, and stay up late without paying the price the next morning. But now, things are different. Your knees protest with each step. Your energy fades quicker, and the reflection in the mirror is not quite the same as the one you remember. It can feel like a betrayal, like your body is working against you instead of with you. But what if I told you that this change isn't the enemy? What if the key to aging gracefully isn't in fighting the inevitable, but in embracing it with gratitude? Buddhism teaches that nothing is permanent. Everything, including our bodies, is in a constant state of change. A tree sheds its leaves in autumn, not because it has failed, but because it is following the natural rhythm of life. Your body is doing the same. The real suffering does not come from aging itself, but from our resistance to it. We cling to youth, to the body we once had, to the things we could once do, and in that resistance we create frustration and sadness. But what if, instead of resenting our bodies for aging, we thank them for all they have done for us? There is a beautiful Buddhist parable that speaks to this. An aging monk once struggled with his daily tasks. Once he could carry heavy buckets of water from the river, but now his arms trembled with effort. One evening, frustrated with his declining strength, he approached his master and asked, "Master, why does my body fail me? It once obeyed my every command." The master smiled and handed him a cracked clay pot. "This pot," he said, "once held water without effort. Now it leaks. Does that mean it is useless?" The monk shook his head. "No, master. It still holds some water." "And does that not still serve a purpose?" the teacher asked. "The water that escapes nourishes the earth. The pot is not as it once was, but it is still of use." The monk understood. His body had changed, but it still had purpose. And so does yours. Aging is not about lamenting what has been lost, but recognizing what remains. Maybe you can't run as fast, but you can still walk. Maybe you can't lift as much, but you can still carry love, wisdom, and experience. Your hands may shake, but they can still reach out in kindness. Instead of seeing your body as something that has turned against you, see it as something that has served you faithfully for decades. It has carried you through heartbreak and triumph, through laughter and sorrow, through every chapter of your life. It deserves your care, your gratitude, and your respect. So, what can you do? Listen to your body rather than fight it. If it asks for rest, give it rest. If movement is difficult, find gentle ways to keep it active. If it aches, Treat it with kindness, not frustration. It is not failing you. It is simply evolving. And most importantly, do not let aging stop you from living fully. A frail body does not mean a frail spirit. As long as you have breath, you have purpose. Think of the elders who inspire you, not because they look young, but because they radiate wisdom and peace. They have accepted change, and in doing so, they have freed themselves from suffering. You too can walk this path. Befriend your body, thank it for all it has done, and move forward with grace. Aging is not the end. It is just another season in the ever-changing rhythm of life. People will drift away, accept it gracefully. There was a time when friendships felt unbreakable, when certain people were always just a phone call away, when family gatherings were frequent and filled with laughter. But as the years go by, things change. Friends who were once inseparable become distant. Loved ones who used to check in regularly now seem occupied with their own lives. Some disappear without explanation, leaving behind only silence where there was once warmth. It's easy to take this personally. You might wonder, did I do something wrong? Was I not enough? But Buddhism teaches an important truth. Everything in life is impermanent, including relationships. People come into our lives when we need them, and they leave when their role in our story is done. Just as the seasons change, so do the people around us. There is a well-known Buddhist parable that illustrates this truth beautifully. A young monk once asked his master, "Why do people leave us when we love them?" The master took him to a quiet riverbank and pointed at the flowing water. "See how the river moves," he said. "Each drop of water flows past us, never staying in one place. Some drops travel together for a while, merging and dancing side by side. Others separate quickly, carried away by the current." The young monk nodded. "People are like that," the master continued. "Some walk beside us for a short time, others for years, but all must keep moving. It is not their departure that should sadden us, but our refusal to accept that their presence was never meant to be permanent." The monk sat in silence, watching the river, finally understanding that love does not mean ownership. Instead of clinging to those who have drifted away, cherish the ones who remain. Think about it. Have you ever reunited with an old friend after years apart and felt as if no time had passed? That's because the bond you shared was never truly lost. Likewise, the people who have left your life did not take away the love or joy they once brought you. Their presence shaped you, even if they are no longer around. The laughter, the lessons, the moments you shared, they remain a part of you. Aging teaches us that relationships evolve. Some fade gently, like the setting sun. Others end abruptly, like a storm passing through. But no matter how they go, they were meaningful in their time. And remember this, even if someone is no longer present, the love you shared does not disappear. It lives on in your heart, woven into the person you have become. So instead of mourning every lost connection, celebrate the ones that endure. Invest your energy in the people who bring you peace and joy. The friend who still calls to check in. The neighbor who smiles when you pass by. The grandchild who listens to your stories. These are the people who matter now, and most importantly, don't close your heart to new relationships. There is always room for new friendships, no matter your age. Life is still offering you moments of connection, if only you remain open to them. Let go with grace, honor what was, appreciate what is, and embrace what is yet to come. That is the way of wisdom. You no longer look young, and that's a gift. One day, you look in the mirror and see someone different staring back at you. The skin is softer, the hair has turned silver, and the lines on your face have deepened. Society tells you to fight this, to cover the gray, erase the wrinkles, and chase youth at all costs. But what if everything you've been told about aging is wrong? Buddhist philosophy teaches that true beauty is not about how you look, but about how you live. It is not found in flawless skin or a youthful face, but in the wisdom you have gained, the kindness you have given, and the strength you have developed through life's ups and downs. There is a Zen story that illustrates this beautifully. An elderly woman once visited a Zen master, sadness in her eyes. She said, "Master, I look in the mirror and do not recognize myself. My beauty has faded. My hair is silver. My skin is lined. I feel invisible." The master smiled and led her to a garden. He pointed at a cherry blossom tree in full bloom and said, "This is beauty, is it not?" She nodded. Then he took her to an ancient pine tree, its bark weathered, its branches twisted with age. "And this?" he asked. She hesitated. "It is different," she admitted, "but there is something dignified about it, something strong." The master chuckled. "That is because you have wisdom. A child may only see beauty in the cherry blossom, but with time we learn to appreciate the pine." The woman understood. Her beauty had not faded. It had transformed. Think about the elders you admire. Were they beautiful because they looked young, or because they carried themselves with dignity, warmth, and wisdom? The true twinkle in their eyes, the way they listened with patience, the kindness in their voice, that is real beauty. Let go of the illusion that beauty fades. Beauty transforms, and in your later years, your beauty is found in your presence, your resilience, and the kindness you offer the world. Aging is not a battle to be fought, but a journey to be embraced. Imagine if we saw every wrinkle as a story, every silver strand as a lesson learned. Imagine if we celebrated the wisdom we've gained, instead of mourning the youth we've left behind. There is a certain radiance that only comes with age, the confidence of knowing who you are, the strength of having endured life's storms, the gentleness that comes from understanding others. That is a beauty no cream or dye can replicate. So the next time you catch your reflection and feel tempted to lament what's been lost, pause, look deeper, see the life you've lived, the love you've given, the wisdom you carry. Wear your years with pride, like a garment woven with experience and grace, because true beauty is not behind you, it is within you right now, in this very moment. You will witness more loss, but love never dies. As the years pass, the losses begin to accumulate. A parent, a sibling, a close friend. One by one, they leave this world. The empty chair at the dinner table, the phone that no longer rings, the laughter that once filled a room, now only echoes in memory. Nothing prepares us for that ache. Grief is not just sadness. It is a deep longing for what once was, for the touch, the voice, the presence of those we love. But Buddhism offers a powerful truth. Love does not die. The people we have lost live on, not in their physical form, but in the lessons they taught us, the kindness they showed, the way they shaped who we are. Every time you speak their name, share their wisdom, or carry forward their generosity, they are with you. There is an old Buddhist parable about a woman named Kisa Gotami. When her young son passed away, she was overcome with sorrow. Refusing to accept his death, she carried his lifeless body from house to house, begging for medicine that could bring him back. Finally, she came to the Buddha, who told her, "Bring me a mustard seed from a home that has never known death." With renewed hope, Kisa Gotami knocked on every door in the village, but every family had lost someone, a parent, a child, a friend. By the end of her search, she realized she was not alone in her suffering. Returning to the Buddha, she understood, grief is a thread woven into the fabric of life, and no one is spared from it. We all must face loss, but the love we share, that never truly fades. Think about the people you have lost. Maybe it was a parent whose laughter still echoes in your memory, a friend whose advice continues to guide you, a partner whose love still shapes the way you love others. They may be gone, but they are not absent. One of the greatest misunderstandings about grief is that we must move on. But Buddhism teaches us not to move on, but to move forward, carrying the love, the lessons, the essence of those we have lost. Have you ever noticed how certain smells, songs, or even phrases bring someone back to life, if only for a moment? That is their presence lingering in you, reminding you that love is not bound by the physical world. Grief is painful, yes, but it is also a testament to the depth of our love. The greater the love, the deeper the loss. Yet rather than wishing the pain away, we can transform it into gratitude. Instead of focusing on what we have lost, we can cherish what we were given. Aging means witnessing more loss, but it also means having had the privilege to love deeply, to form connections that matter, and to carry forward the spirit of those who touched our lives. So when you feel the weight of loss pressing on your heart, remember, love never dies. It flows through you, in your actions, in the kindness you offer to the world. As long as you keep loving, those who have passed remain a part of you, and in that, they are never truly gone. Aging is a privilege, not a punishment. Take a moment and think about the alternative to aging. If we never grew older, what would that mean? The truth is, aging is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every birthday is not a sign of decline. It is a privilege denied to many. Yet in a world obsessed with youth, we are constantly told that aging is something to fight against. We spend fortunes on anti-aging creams, hair dyes, and medical procedures in a desperate attempt to hold on to the past. But what if the problem isn't aging itself? What if the real struggle is our resistance to it? Buddhism teaches that suffering comes from fighting the inevitable. Life is a river that flows forward, and the more we try to swim against the current, the more exhausted we become. But when we accept the natural course of life, we find peace. Imagine looking at a sunset. Do we complain that the sun is setting, wishing it would stay at noon forever? We admire its golden hues, its quiet beauty, its transition into night. Aging is like that sunset, beautiful, natural, and something to be cherished, not feared. In Buddhist philosophy, gratitude and mindfulness are the keys to transforming how we see aging. Instead of mourning what is changed, we can celebrate what remains. Instead of longing for the past, we can find joy in the present. Think of the wisdom you have gained over the years, the lessons learned, the resilience built, the moments of laughter and love that shaped your journey. A young person may have physical strength, but you have something far greater: perspective, patience, and the ability to appreciate life in a way only experience can teach. There is a Zen parable about a student who asked his master, "What is the secret to a peaceful life?" The master handed him a cup of tea and filled it to the brim. Then he kept pouring until the tea spilled over the edges. The student, confused, said, "Master, the cup is full. It cannot hold any more." The master smiled and said, "Like this cup, your mind is full of resistance, full of clinging to the past. Empty it, and you will find peace." The lesson is clear. The more we resist aging, the more suffering we create for ourselves. But when we accept it, we make space for joy, for gratitude, for a new beginning. If you think about it, the people we admire most in life are not those who desperately try to hold on to youth, but those who embrace their age with grace, wisdom, and dignity. Aging is not about loss. It is about gaining a new perspective, appreciating the small joys, and finding peace in the present moment. So let go of fear. Let go of the idea that aging is something to fix. Instead, celebrate the privilege of growing older. Find gratitude in every year, in every experience, in every lesson that life has given you. Because when we accept aging, we don't lose anything. We gain everything. The choice is yours. Fight time or embrace it. Imagine standing at a crossroads. On one path, you fight against time, clinging to youth, resisting change, and feeling frustrated with every wrinkle, every gray hair, every reminder that life is moving forward. The other path is different. It is not about fighting, but about embracing. It is about stepping into each new day with gratitude, seeing aging not as a loss, but as an opportunity for growth, wisdom and peace. Which path will you choose? Too often society tells us that aging is something to fear, something to hide or fight against. Advertisements bombard us with promises to reverse the signs of aging, as if growing older is a mistake we need to correct. But what if we saw it differently? What if aging was not the closing of a book, but simply the turning of a new page? Buddhist philosophy teaches that suffering arises from resistance. The more we resist the inevitable, the more we suffer. But when we let go of the need to control time, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of peace. Life is constantly changing, and fighting against it only drains our energy. Think of a river. It flows effortlessly, adapting to the twists and turns of its path. It does not stop to resist the rocks in its way. It moves forward, always flowing, always evolving. Life is the same, and when we move with it rather than against it, we find true freedom. Aging is not about clinging to the past. It is about celebrating the present. Think about the stories written on your skin, the laugh lines that tell of joyful moments, the silver strands that whisper of wisdom, the hands that have held loved ones, created memories and shaped a meaningful life. These are not things to erase or cover up. They are proof that you have lived. There is a powerful Zen story about a traveler who came across a wise old monk. The traveler asked, "Master, how do I find happiness?" The monk smiled and said, "Let go." The traveler, confused, asked, "Let go of what?" The monk simply responded, "Everything." The lesson is simple. Happiness is not found in clinging, but in surrendering. When we let go of the need to hold on to youth, to resist change, to fear the future, we free ourselves to experience life fully. Ask yourself, what if you could wake up tomorrow and see aging not as a loss, but as a privilege? What if instead of longing for the past, you embrace the present with gratitude? Look at those who age with grace. They do not dwell on what they have lost. They radiate peace, wisdom, and joy, because they have chosen to accept rather than resist. And that choice is available to you too. Aging is not about losing time. It is about gaining perspective. It is about appreciating the beauty in each moment, cherishing the people in your life, and embracing the journey with an open heart. So, as you stand at this crossroads, remember, the choice is yours. You can fight time, or you can embrace it. You can resist change, or you can celebrate it. And if you choose acceptance, if you choose gratitude, you will discover that aging is not the end of something, it is the beginning of something even more profound. Embracing aging as a path to wisdom and peace. Aging is not something to fear. It is a privilege. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, and every passing year is proof that we have lived, loved, and grown. Instead of resisting time, we can choose to embrace it with gratitude. The true struggle is not against aging itself, but against our resistance to change. Buddhist teachings remind us that impermanence is the nature of life. Everything evolves, including our bodies, relationships, and circumstances. When we let go of the need to control time, we free ourselves from suffering. The key to a fulfilling life is presence, focusing on the now rather than mourning the past or fearing the future. Our legacy is not in how long we stay young, but in the kindness we share, the wisdom we pass on, and the lives we touch. We cannot hold on to youth, but we can cultivate peace, strength, and joy at any age. If we shift our perspective, we will see that aging is not an ending. It is an unfolding of something deeper, richer, and more meaningful. Live fully, love deeply, embrace each chapter with grace, because the best years are not behind you, they are within you, right now.